Hi, in this lesson, we'll learn how to call a non-void method. At the end of lesson 2.3, we learned that the next line method could be assigned to a variable while the print area method could not. This is because the return type for the method signature is different for print area and next line. The return type determines the type that will be returned from a method. We can return a value from a method by using the keyword return. The return keyword allows us to return a variable or value back to the existing program, so it can be used further along in the program. Using the return statement makes the method far more useful, as the value associated with area can be used in a variety of different ways. The method with the return type has multiple functionalities. It can either store the value of print area in other variables or be used in other expressions. Under the hood, the return keyword is simply allowing the method to pass a variable or value back to the existing program. When the constructor is called, the values of width and height are set to 4 and 5 respectively. When the getArea method is called, it uses the instance variables width and height to initialize the value of area, and now returns the value which is stored in the new variable created in the program. Now, when we print the value of area, the result will be 20, because the variable area now holds the value 20 that it got from the return statement. It is important to note that although these two variables named area have the same value at this time, they are not the same variable. For example, if we were to initialize the variable area to hold the value of 10 in the initial code editor, when we print the value of area, even after calling print area, the value printed in the last line is 10. That's because the area variable in the code editor is different than the one that exists in the print area method. Once the method has finished executing, that area variable doesn't exist anymore in the program. This is an example of scope. We will learn more about this later in the course. The return type that is used in the method signature must match the data type that is being returned. If the return type is a string, then the variable or value being returned must also be a string value. Otherwise, this will cause the program to throw an error. Let's try a practice problem now with the information that we've learned. Suppose, for instance, we wanted to know how many desks of a certain size could fit into a space. Let's write a program to solve this. Let's imagine that our rectangle class is fully made so we can solve this problem a little easier. Try to come up with the steps that you would need to take to solve this problem. Pause the video to take your time. Here are the steps it would take to solve this problem. Were you close? Now let's take those steps and write it out in actual Java. First, we want to find the area of the space. We can do that by first creating a rectangle object called space that has a width of 200 and a height of 114. We can then create a new variable called total area that stores the result of space.getArea, which calculates the area of the space from the rectangle class. Now we want to find the area of a desk, which we can do using the same commands we used to find the total area. We need to create a desk object with the parameters 13 and 7 and save the area of the desk in a variable. Next, we can find the total number of desks that we need by dividing the total area by the area of one desk. And to print out the final value, we use system.out.println. 250 desks can fit in that space. Now that you've learned how to call a non-void method, let's get some practice in the editor.